We call it the Hyannis Upweller Project, and the partners are our organization, Barnstable Clean Water Coalition, the Massachusetts Oyster Project, and the town of Barnstable. And the project is, we're trying to grow oysters here from tiny little seed up to about 1 inch in length. And the idea is we grow the oysters in the tank, and one of the things that they're doing is we're taking water directly out of Hyannis Harbor. It's being pumped up into the upweller, comes up through these sorting buckets that the oysters are put in. The oysters are filtering out plankton, they're filtering out detritus, they're filtering out nutrients, so they're not only getting food and growing while they're in the tank, they're improving water quality, they're pulling out nutrients like nitrogen, and then they're also clearing up the water. They improve the water clarity by removing the sediment and the detritus. And then that clean water is going back down into the harbor, and it's showing that oysters can grow in many different types of conditions of water, whether it's water that looks dirty, whether it's really dirty or not, and sending out the clean water. And then once they grow to about 1 inch, we're taking the oysters out of the tank and we're putting them into town waters. With the town of Barnstable, we're working with Department of Natural Resources and the shellfish technicians. They're taking those oysters and then they're planting them out in our first batch. When we did the program last year, went into Catuit Bay, and more than likely our oysters from this year are going to go out into that same area, and that's going to allow the oysters to grow until they're of harvestable size, which is 3 inches. And at that point, people in the town of Barnstable who have recreational shellfish licenses can come and harvest those oysters when they're mature and ready.
Basically, the oysters are helping to remove excess nutrients from the water, and a buildup of nutrients, if it's not regulated, can lead to something called eutrophication, and that can lead to things like harmful algal blooms, which pretty much, in the short term of it, they just kill off like huge populations of fish and marine inverts and things like that, and they're really bad for the overall marine ecosystem. So making sure that those nutrients stay in check is really important for keeping marine ecosystems healthy.
When we were trying to figure out where could we put an upweller tank in the town, we thought, where's a highly visible area where we can talk to people, show them what we're doing. So we talked to the town of Barnstable, and we thought Hyannis Harbor would be a great place. There's a lot of foot traffic down here. It's a highly visible area. So we talked with them, and they said that we could put it here at what's called Gateway Marina on Hyannis Harbor. And so they're providing with us basically the property. And we have the tank here, and then the other part of the partnership is, what do we do with the oysters when they're big enough to go out into the wild? And that's the part of working with natural resources and the shellfish technicians, because they have a very large shellfish propagation program in the town of Barnstable. And so we're trying to help them contribute to that by giving them roughly 60,000 oysters last year. This year we're trying to double that, give them 120,000 oysters, and again help propagate shellfish in the town of Barnstable to help benefit the local economy.
The way the upweller works is that it gives them constant water flow, and I'm down here cleaning 5 days a week, and the days that I'm not here, sometimes we have other people, so they get cleaned all the time, so they have no sediment on them, basically, most of the time. So that just increases the water flow and makes sure that it's constant, and that's why they can grow so well. In the wild, they can do this on their own. They're getting that flow from like tides and things like that, but they're sitting in this sediment. The tides aren't necessarily moving very fast, so they grow just a lot slower. So in the wild, an oyster grows at about 1 inch per year, so it'd take them 3 years to get to a harvestable size. And when we start them in the upweller, it takes them only about like 1.5 to 2 years maximum.
I think we want to keep improving it. We want to keep hopefully even doing some more oysters next year. What would be good is if we have to try and quantify, how many oysters are going in when they're 1 inch, how many are surviving over the winter, and then how many are reaching that harvestable age, and can try and look at that and try and factor how much nitrogen are all these oysters contributing to removing from the system.
People should care about clean water because it takes up almost all of our planet, and the health of our oceans is really the health of the earth. And if we don't take care of that, then you're really not taking care of our long-term selves.